Hello everyone, in this video I'll show you how to complete the 25 Years of Tibia Quest. This was a new addition during Tibia's 25th anniversary, but will be a permanent quest in the game going forward. Completing the quest will give you some new items that can be used as decoration, and will give you access to fight the final boss, Lord Retro. Defeating him will grant you a new backpack, mount, outfit, as well as Theons. You begin this quest by entering the time travel dungeon. This will be traveling back in time for the most recent Tibia updates back through the older content as it was released in reverse order. There are many sprites of strong creatures, but the creatures in this dungeon are not as strong as the real ones, so you should be able to complete this quest as a lower level. Just a note, when you enter the time travel dungeon, you can't exit until you fix the time machine, so make sure you come prepared. To start the quest, you require a white silk flower. Also, I recommend bringing a bronze gear wheel as well to save you time, so you don't have to loot one in the dungeon. You can find the time machine down the ladder in the northeastern tower in Thias. You will first run through the Karna sylvan area until you reach the werelions. You can find a statue of a werelion here that you can pass if you have the white silk flower. In the Asavi part of the dungeon, you must open a sarcophagus to find a paint palette and brushes. If you head to the northeast, you'll find a half-empty picture album in a brass shod chest. Then, keep going to the east to find a coffin that will contain a blank paper. You'll find a few of these throughout the dungeon, but you require 8 to fill your picture book. The cooldown to get another blank paper from the same container is 5 minutes. Once you've collected these items, you can head to the north and travel through the portal at the end. After entering the portal, you'll end up in the secret library. If you head to the north, you'll find a falcon banner on the wall. If you use the palette and brushes on the blank paper, you get your first picture for the album. You then travel through the fairest areas, which you may want to wear a dwarven ring to avoid the drunkenness. Then you pass by astral shapers and end up in Kralos. Head to the southeast and you'll be able to dig up a Tibia coin. This coin can be obtained multiple times, and I think the cooldown is around 30 minutes. You then can enter the next portal. You'll now end up in Ormond. Heading to the northeast, I misclicked at first, but you must use the lighter color valve to obtain the item. There are a few different valves that this will work on around the area. I get this item as I loop back afterwards. Go to the northeast to find a pile of rubbish, which will give you the calibrated indicator gauge, and then keep heading to the north to find a chest with a glass tube. At this point, you have to backtrack, but I went to the Rashmal area to collect another blank paper first. Then, on the way back, I grabbed the valve I missed the first time. Once you travel all the way back to the time machine, you must use the 3 items we required as well as the bronze gear you should have brought with you or looted from the golems in the Ormond area. This time machine is now fixed and you can enter and leave the dungeon as you please. We now make our way back to the Ormond and Rashmal area so we can continue. From here, we pass through the war zones as there is nothing of interest. We'll also pass by the creatures from the Grey Island and enter the portal to Zao. As soon as you arrive here, you can open the chest to the west to get a wind-up loco. This is needed for the mount later on. Heading to the south, you'll find some Yalhari and vampires. Click the skull in this room to receive a black skull item. To the east, we can find a broader wreath which is not needed for the quest. Continue to Svargrond and head to the northwest where you'll find a nest with eggs. Using this will give you a flask with paint. You'll have to wander the area and use this on 3 seals to paint their heads. You can now swim through the water, grabbing another blank paper from the floating bottle, and leave the portal in the Liberty Bay pirate area. You'll now end up in the Taquanda jungle. You can run through this area as well as the following area, Anchorman. There is nothing to collect here. After this, you'll end up in the Venore area. You can find a blank paper in the first building right before you leave the sandy area. You then have to find all of the skulls within the swamp, which you can do by following my path. Once you've collected all of the skulls, you can enter the portal, which will take you to Edron. As soon as you leave the building in Edron, you can head to the southeast to find another paper. We will then run through an abdendral area and end up in Kazordoon. Heading into the room to the north, you'll use a barrel to get a commemorative platinum coin. Continue to the east and you'll find a coin slot on the wall that you will use the coin with. You can then use the door to pass through it and enter another portal. At this point you end up in Thias. Head to the north into the building that resembles Frodo's Tavern and enter the teleport. In this area you can use palette and brushes on another blank paper to create another picture. Also, you can find an old health potion by using the dead body located here. Once you head back to the Thias area and go all the way to the northeast, you'll find the teleport to Lord Retro. You must finish the picture book before beginning this fight. Hopefully this video helped you complete all of the required steps in the dungeon. In the next videos I will cover completing the picture book as well as fighting Lord Retro. Happy hunting!